Okay, let's look at the reading passage 3, Beyond the Blue Horizon. I hope you know what horizon is. We want to use broaden your horizons in your speaking and in your writing. Anyway, what have we got? A summary, but a summary with a box, so that will be a little bit more difficult. The multiple choice, as expected in reading 3, yes, no, not given. Pretty standard format. So, of course, we're going to start with a summary and get going. But first, I want you to check the grammar. Please always remember to check the grammar. This one is actually quite interesting. There is so much information that the grammar can give you that will help you. Right, a 3,000 burial ground. That's where you bury people after they die. This is the name of these people. Seafaring means that they went to sea a lot. Has been found on an abandoned something. And abandoned something on the Pacific island of Efate. So we have a what? We have a single countable noun. This is uncountable. It could be that one, yes. Single countable. It could be harbor, yes. Single countable. Bones, no. Data is actually plural. Discovery, single countable. Burial urn, single countable. And source. So there's only 5 possibilities there. We want a single countable noun there. The cemetery, which is again, single countable noun. A significant something was uncovered accidentally by a worker. Great. Single countable nouns, those two. And there are only 5 single countable nouns here. I can already tell what it's going to be without even going and reading it. You found the burial ground. Where would you bury people? This means a farm. So that's the answer, I'm sure of it. A harbor, you don't bury people on a harbor because a harbor is full of water. You don't bury people in an archaeological discovery. You don't bury people in an urn. An urn is a jug. And you don't bury people in a source. An old farm is where they buried them. I can tell already. The cemetery, which is a significant, definitely it's a significant discovery. I can see that already. It's not a significant harbor. It's not a significant urn, maybe a significant source, but it's a significant discovery. So I can tell immediately what those two are. You don't even have to look at the text. The Lapita explored and colonized many Pacific islands. They took many things with them on their voyages, including something and tools. Now this could be uncountable, but it's probably plural because that's things and that's things. But this could be uncountable. It could be like coffee or water. So it could be uncountable or plural countable. Did they take proof? No. Can't take plantation. Maybe they took bones with them, but I don't know why you would take bones on your voyage. I don't know why they would take data on your voyage. Animals, maybe they took animals and tools with them, and maps, and maybe they took maps with them. So I'm quite sure that 29 is either I or J. A team of researchers, are. That's actually a grammar mistake by IELTS. It should be a team of researchers. A team is. So anyway, they made a grammar mistake. Spriggs believes the something which was found at the site is very important. Both of these verbs are talking about this noun over here. That's one noun phrase, so that which connects the was to that verb, and then this is the main verb of the whole sentence. But what does that tell you? That means that this is uncountable or single. So the something which was found at the site is very important. Proof, yes, possibly. You don't find a plantation at a harbor, at a site. Maybe plantation, maybe harbor. Bones, no, because we want single. Data's plural. Discovery, yes, the discovery which was found, possibly. The urn, yes. The source, yes. Animals, maps, no. All you need to realize is that's singular noun. I'll put S over there. I'm going to put S in all of these things. Since it confirms that the something found inside are, again, Lapita. That means that this is plural countable. It has an S. So the something were found inside this thing. 31 was found inside 30. If you know that this is a jug, then you can guess that 30 is jug, and then inside the jug they either found maps or animals or bones. I'm guessing that it's going to be bones. You needed an S. Anyway, just think about it. All of these gives you so much information about the kind of word that you're looking for. I'll just remind you, you're looking for two things in the grammar: the article before or no article, and the verb afterwards, the main verb or the verb that is connected to the noun. Great. 3,000 years old, Lapita on and abandoned in the Pacific island of Efate. An important archaeological discovery on the island of Efate. We've got 3,000 over here. The site came to light by chance. An agricultural worker digging on the grounds of a derelict plantation scraped open a grave, and it was all part of a burial ground some 3,000 years old. So this worker was digging in a plantation. Derelict means abandoned. It means nobody's using it anymore. Plantation is like a farm. So there it is over there. An abandoned plantation, a derelict plantation. It was either going to be one of these two, I guess. So B. Don't write plantation, write B. Right, the cemetery, which is a significant, was uncovered accidentally by an agricultural worker. Actually, they're making it very easy over here. Can you see significant? There's a synonym for significant. It was an important archaeological discovery. You can check through the rest of these, but I think that word significant and important gave it to you, archaeological discovery. So it's worth noticing there that they did go a little bit back. This was the first answer, and then they went back, and there was the second answer. So it's not uncommon, especially in reading 3, they can do it with a summary. Great. They many Pacific several centuries. Maybe we can scan for centuries. They took many things with them on their voyages, including something and tools. All we need to find out is what did they take on their voyages. Definitely try and find tools or synonym for tools. So the best thing to do here, scan for tools, see if you can find it. Tools is over there. So let's read that sentence. They were also pioneers who carried with them. Where's carried with them? Took many things with them on their voyages. Everything they would need to build new lives. Their livestock, seedlings, and tools. So here they give 3 things. In the summary they give 2. So we don't need tools. Livestock, what is livestock? Livestock is animals. It's like cows and things like that. Seedlings is small plants, baby plants, and tools. So do we have livestock or plants in this? Of course we have animals, which is their livestock. Quite straightforward. The burial ground increases the amount of available. So now let's find Matthew Spriggs. There he is over there. He believes that the something which was found at the site is very important, since it confirms that the something inside are Lapita. So I would start over here, because they won't just go afterwards. The remains of 62 individuals have been uncovered, and archaeologists were thrilled to find 6 complete Lapita pots. Other items included a burial urn with model birds on the rim, blah, 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 blah. It's an important discovery. What is it? It is the burial urn is the important discovery, because for it identifies the remains as Lapita. So there is very important. It's an important discovery. Again, IELTS was testing, do you know what it is? It is the burial urn. We were looking for a singular noun. That one over there. But again, you could have guessed it because the grammar helped you. So burial urn is G, because it confirms that the something found inside are Lapita and the remains are Lapita. What is the remains? It's kind of a vocabulary thing. In English, when somebody or an animal dies and time passes, so only the bones and the hair are left over, we call that the remains of the person or of the animal. So it's actually just the bones is the remains. So we knew we were looking for a plural noun that ended in S. We used that. This is not about remains of a person. This is maps. So it's definitely the bones. Kind of a vocabulary issue. You needed to know that remains means the remains of a person. So D. Alright, I think that was fairly easy. I think you could have gotten 5 out of 5 there, especially with all of this help that the grammar gave you. A bit of help that the grammar gave you and a bit of common sense. Great. Now we're not going to do these next. I would try and find these, except we can look and see where these come from. It might help us to find where the yes, no, not given comes from. So this is from 6th paragraph, 7th paragraph, and 8th paragraph. So this might be 5th or something, maybe 4th. 6th, 7th, and 8th. So let's go and count. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3 ends here. This is 4, this is 5. Okay, so this is the 6th. That's the 7th, and that's the 8th up to there. So I think that probably means that yes, no, not given come from these paragraphs over here. Not 100% certain, but it's a good guess to get you started. So let's see, what are we looking for? It's clear that they could sail into a wind. Extreme climate conditions, Lapita migration, El Niños, expansion, maybe, Fiji. Great, I like Fiji and El Niño. Let's try and find those. And we're looking over here. I see wind immediately over there. El Niño. El Niños are all over here. El Niño, El Niño. Fiji. Great, so that confirms that we are looking at these 3 paragraphs. So, it is now clear, now we're going to do target language, that they could sail into a prevailing wind. This could be, is it clear? And maybe the modal verb, that they could or they could not. Is it clear or is it not clear that they could or could not sail into a prevailing wind? So you need to read over here. All of this presupposes, it means all of this is based on the idea that the Lapita mastered the art of sailing against the wind. And there is no proof that they could do any such thing. So there is no proof that they could sail against the wind or into the wind. So it's not clear. So definitely that would be no, it's not clear. It's not clear because there is no proof. Extreme climate conditions may have played a role in the migration. What's the target language? Yeah, maybe may have played a role. I think we need to watch that may. Where's migration? So there is climate disruption, And there it is, may have helped, may have played a role in their migration. To scatter means to spread them out widely all over the place. So that's the migration. Pretty difficult vocabulary, but if you could guess that that was the migration, that's the extreme climate conditions, may have played a role, may have helped, then you can get that as yes. Yes, there's a target language, may have played a role, may have helped, it's fine. I think the issue there was scatter and migration, but they're the same. They learned to predict the duration of El Niños. Maybe we should just also look at that. Duration is how long they took. And predict, we should also look for predict. Climate data, there's something about how long, but I don't see anything about them predicting. And I'm looking for a not given. A not given is coming soon, but I think I'm going to go with not given on that one. I don't see anything about them predicting how long the El Niño took. So quite confident that that's not given, but let's skip it and just see what happens. It's unclear, that's some target language, why they stopped or halted their expansion across the Pacific. Is it unclear or is it not unclear? Or is it clear? Called it quits is the halted. That's to call something quits is to quit, is to stop. For reasons known only to them. Only they know why they stopped. So it is unclear why they stopped. We don't know. Only they know. So yes, the target language is correct. It is unclear. Only they know why. So that's a yes. It's likely that the majority settled on Fiji. That could be target language, but that also could be target language. Settled on Fiji. They probably never numbered more than a few thousand in total. They encountered hundreds of islands, but they encountered 300 islands. They found 300 islands in Fiji. There's nothing about how many of them settled on Fiji. And remember, majority means more than 50%, more than half. There's nothing here about how many of them, compared to the total, settled on Fiji. This just says how many of them there were, but nothing about what percentage of them settled on Fiji. So definitely not given. And then I'm going to go with not given on that other one because we've had two yeses. I felt pretty good. I couldn't find predict and duration of El Niños. All right, good. So we're looking good so far. Okay, on to the multiple choice. So let's try a method that I'm trying to develop. There's no easy method for multiple choice, but try this method. What you want to do is only read that. Then go to the paragraph and read the paragraph. Don't read all of this because it's just going to confuse you. You come back and you read that later once you're clear what you're looking for. So I'll show you what I mean. According to the writer, there are difficulties explaining how the Lapita accomplished their journeys. So we know that the 33 is in paragraph 6, so I'm just going to look over here. It could also be over here, but let's check over here. There's one stubborn question which we have no answers. How did they accomplish the equivalent of a moon landing? This means like landing on the moon. It means a very difficult journey. How did they accomplish their journey? Why is it difficult to explain how they did these journeys? Here he goes on to say, we haven't found any of their canoes, which could give us some information. There's no oral history, there's no oral tradition to offer any insights, to offer any information. So basically what he's saying here is there's no data, there's no information. That's the reason why it's difficult to find out how did they do it. There's no information, so we don't know how they did it, and that's why it's difficult to know how they did it. So once you've answered your question, then come back and look at these. Canoes offer a few clues, but they said there's no canoes. No one has found any of their canoes, so we haven't found any canoes. Archaeologists haven't shown little interest. No, we're looking for little information, and there it is. There's not much information, and there's nothing about technological advances. So that's the answer we were looking for, so that's our answer C. Right, according to the sixth, what was extraordinary about the Lapita? Don't read this yet. Go and see if you can find it. What was amazing, what was strange about the Lapita? And then you have to just read. Look for something that was extraordinary. Thousands of years. This must have been as difficult for them as landing on the moon. It distinguished them from their ancestors. It distinguished them means it made them stand out, made them different from their ancestors. So what is it? It is this. So what is this? When they sailed out of sight of land is what distinguished them. 2 reference pronouns. And there it is right there, sailed beyond the point where land was visible. What does this refer to in the 7th paragraph? You have to read it a bit. This is over there, so let's look at that. They could sail out for days into the unknown, assess the area, secure in the knowledge that if they didn't find anything, they could turn back and catch a ride back on the winds. This is what would have made the whole thing work. This refers to that. So they could come back home, is what this is. The belief that they would be able to return home is right there. How was their geography significant? How was the geography significant or interesting or amazing? The geography provided a safety net. Would have been easy. This island stretches more than 500 miles. Many islands forming a backstop for sailors who are coming home. So the geography stretched out over many islands. What was easy? It would have been, without it, it would have been easy to get lost. But the geography of the islands, it was spread out over such a large area, so it was difficult to get lost. Culture, storms, there, navigational aid, habitable, no. Navigational aid, you should know what navigation means. It's finding your way, like with GPS. Okay, so actually that wasn't so bad for a reading 3. After the autumn leaves, we needed something easy because autumn leaves was another reading 3 in my opinion. Alright, and that's the end of that test. Thank you very much. Please remember to leave some comments